kicking us off again to inspire you. I'm going to inspire positivity and optimism today because I got a lot of messages. I got 2 different kinds of messages from yesterday's episode. And maybe, you could look at the YouTube stuff maybe and you can tell me what's there. 2 different kinds of messages. Number 1, we got a lot of favorable stuff about the creative pricing, right? That we've now gone a couple episodes into creative pricing and how, some people did a deep dive into their own successes, wins and losses over the last couple of years. You're making a lot of noise with that chair, man. It's okay. I mean, it's
been through heavy use.
All right. Well, I don't want to know about that, I guess. But it's all the Whatnot shows, I think is what you're talking about. But so people message and they say, you know what? It's funny. My biggest wins have been on things that are creative pricing, price discovery, things that were raw, and I graded them, and there weren't that many of things that I was first to market on, and people really, it was almost like an eye-opening thing, and that was good. And then another tranche were like, listen, do me a favor, Cage, because sometimes Andrew takes his cues from you. Start off the next episode with some positivity, with some happiness. Andrew needs a shot of positivity, not the sodium pentothal, not the truth serum. You can give him that later in the episode, but give him a shot of positivity because, a lot of people, same message. I could just read a couple if you like, but the same message. Like we are fine with the craziness when the market is up because we have so much other stuff, right? It's market's up. This price is great. This person's making money. These are the great headlines. But when the market's down and it's harder for, us to navigate, 1 win out of 10 losses, then the whole, we come on and we try to escape from the fact that we're losing money, we're having trouble, and we hear about hobby drama. And tell Andrew we love him. We want his optimism. Tell him to smoke some trees and come back on and tell us everything's going to be all right. They want to hear.
First thing.
Yeah, shoot.
I was pretty accurate in my prediction that 9 out of 10 of our audience members have been losing money too.
Yes, a lot of people. I was also accurate in my prediction. You should tell Aaron Judge he is officially hitless since I made my prediction. Just going to throw that out there. He's hitless.
I have a good DM to read about that. That was funny. But I put the way to change the baseball rules is
that was funny.
You could reset the lineup in the 8th inning and give your best guy 2 hits. And someone responded, Aaron Judge doesn't deserve anything.
Okay. All right. That's good. He doesn't. I mean, no one deserves anything. But Andrew's trying to fix the problem. Remember, in Andrew's eyes, baseball will be gone in 20 years. And part of the reason we talk about baseball as weird compared to other sports is in every other sport, you can when the game is on the line, you can put the ball in the hands of your superstar. Whereas in baseball, it's luck. Bottom of the ninth, Aaron Judge happened to come up in the bottom of the ninth yesterday. And fly out, very noisy fly out. He doesn't always come up in the bottom of the ninth. Isaiah kind of falafel might come up instead.
Isaiah falafel. Here's where my mind goes when you read those comments, and you'll.
He's gonna go right to negative.
Well, no. Okay, so positivity is good. Positivity is good, and I do think. Here's how I think of positivity. I think of it like a tool, a hammer. You use it when you need it. But at the same time, when things aren't going your way and you throw more positivity at it, in my experience, sometimes that doesn't work. Because a much stronger but faster burning fuel is negativity, is a little bit of discomfort, a little bit of, I'm pissed off and I'm going to show people. Now, I don't think you should live in that world because that will drive you crazy. It's the dark
pride.
Side.
I see power.
Dark side that we talk about.
Little Kylo Ren.
I do think that there are times you need to use that. And I do think sometimes the way out of a difficult time is not by throwing this positivity, everything's going to be good, someone's going to come save me. It's, hey, I hate where I'm at. And I want to change it really, really, really bad. So,
all right. I listen. I'll buy that. I'll buy that for $1. But ridiculousness for ridiculousness' sake. That's, I think, people want. They are thrilled with a little negativity, like I'm fed up and I'm not gonna take it anymore. And then you do something to change it. I like that.
I'll give them a play today. So
yes,
I believe that your Eastern Conference regular season champions, and your MVP for next season is going to be the Philadelphia 76ers and Joel Embiid. And I think now is the time to start buying Joel Embiid. Now, what makes our hobby a little bit challenging is, unlike a stock, we can't just go out and buy 100 Embiids. It takes time. It takes preparation. Today's September 23rd. The season doesn't start for another month. But in order to get the right assets, you have to think a little bit in advance. And here's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing a team that last season was completely overshadowed with the Ben Simmons saga. All year, Ben Simmons, is he practicing? Is he not? Is he playing? Is he not?
Now he's shooting threes.
With that, the Sixers had a good season. Embiid averaged 30 points a game, finished second in MVP voting. And to add to that little bit of an equation, you had Harden, who was a new piece. And he didn't know his role. Is he the one guy? Is he the two guy? Is he more of a traditional point guard and Maxi's going to start scoring? I believe with this offseason, a little bit more time to think, a little bit time to decompress and realize what they're doing, this team is much stronger. Now, they added 3 pieces in the offseason. Anthony Melton already knows he's a role player. He played with the Grizz. He played that role. He could play a little point guard. He's a scorer, a good 8th guy off the bench, 9th guy in the rotation. You add PJ Tucker. He knows Harden. He knows Morey. We know what we're getting there, 3 and D. And then you add Trez. The biggest thing with Embiid is he going to stay healthy? Well, you know big guys, they get banged up down low. Now you bring in energy, the guy who's going to maybe take a little bit of that pounding off of Embiid. And Cage, I'll tell you this, I'll give you 100%. Trez is going to be a fan favorite in Philly. We love guys like Trez. We are a city of Trez. Brash, big talking, pound our chest. But when we go to work, we go to work. And now you have this team that's hungry, doesn't have the Ben Simmons saga, and beat off an MVP type of season. They got better. This is the team, and I'm very critical of my Sixers. This is the team to watch out for in the Eastern Conference regular season. Playoffs is a different game, but he's going to have 35 points a game, 12 rebounds, 3 blocks, and he will be your MVP next season.
All right, now at the end of that, you went in a little bit of a different direction because my what I'm going to say here is what happened to Embiid's cards last year? Was there a spike? Like if we pulled up Card Ladder's data, would you see during the season that they ran a little bit? They were up slightly. They're probably down a little bit. You name it, the whole deal. I'd be curious what they did. And here's why, as you're looking, I'll talk in your backswing. You just said the magic words. He's coming off of an MVP type of season. He finished second in the MVP race. And it's not like the Sixers sucked last year. I mean, they still played well. And I think you could actually
down 40% Card Ladder over 1 year.
Well, what about during the season last year? Because obviously in the offseason they're down. I don't know if there's a way to do that, but it's fine, even down 40. So I guess my counterpoint to this is
they dropped off of a cliff. Sorry, Cage. You asked that.
They dropped off a cliff when the season ended.
Yes.
So during the season, I'd be curious because it's one thing to say they're down 40% because that'll change my analysis. But if during the season you saw a kind of an uptick, right? That's great information for you. And I want to do a little deeper dive in this, and here's why, right? Embiid's cards down 40% now may be a buy, but they also may not be because you've already seen, you can't forget about this historical data, right? So last year, he had about as good of a season as you can expect from him. Now, the turn is you're telling me he's actually going to take a step forward. Now he's going to average 35 and 12 and be the Eastern Conference champs, right? And at least the regular season and the whole deal. If that happens, I think it's naive for me to come on here and say the cards won't go up in value. If he's averaging 35 points a game, winning the MVP, and his team's a 1 seed, his cards will go up in value. That said, what my pullback, what my concern about it is that we've seen a lot of data points that would argue the other way. Number one, he's a big man. No matter how good Jokic is, his cards don't fly. They incrementally go up and then they go down, right? Team success has a lot to do with that, right? If the Sixers are the number 1 seed, obviously we're in a different story. Number two, Embiid's a big man. Number two, last season, Embiid already did all this. And you can make an argument that it was even more impressive, and I did this a couple of times on the show, that what Embiid was doing while he should win the MVP was he was doing that, putting up all those numbers with this clown show going on around him. You're taking it a step further and saying without the clown show, now he can perform. They put a team around him. Now he can go out there. Again, he does 35 and 12, and they're the 1 seed. His cards will go up in value. My concern is we've already seen almost that from him, and the cards didn't go up. I don't think they didn't fly. We already saw the best of Embiid. We saw him playing at an MVP level. Like he got MVP votes. You know what I mean? So the improvement you'd have to see is significant. Like he wouldn't just have to be MVP. It'd have to be averaging 35, like you're talking about, like putting these kind of season up there that we haven't seen in a while. Like it would have to be, Aaron Judge. It'd have to be one of these seasons that where, wow, he's averaging 35 a game. If he doesn't, if he just goes out there and averages high 20s and plays MVP caliber ball, he just did what he did last year. Now, the team success is always helpful, and I'm not going to like undercut you. Obviously, if they're the 1 seed, he's the MVP, 30, great. What I will tell you to also look at, though, is can you look at the last 3 months of Maxi's prices? Because I think what that's going to show you is that people are already on your Celtics, but everybody loves to be in on the guy.
Clown.
The Sixers, my bad. Well, I have the Celtics on my brain because we should talk about that. But the Sixers, but everybody in this hobby, they don't do what I do, and unfortunately, I'm rubbing off on you a little bit. Kind of like the
Celtics.
We both said it. It's terrible. We're the worst. We're children. But here's the deal, right? Everybody wants to be on the young guy. Everybody wants to be on the guy who's a prospect that could still turn into Michael Jordan. Instead of
more than anyone else.
Instead of being on Embiid, or instead of being on the guy who's the talent who's already done it. People have seen enough from Embiid. Remember, Bro Namath came on, and he's like, "I'll buy the rookies," but
the Pokemon, the TCG guy.
Yeah, but he was talking about quarterbacks also, and it's like, I'm not going to buy outside the 3-year window. Like it's got to be a quarterback in the first 3 years. Otherwise, done. People have already made their decisions on it, and that big kind of bump that you're going to see on the cards is not there anymore. Embiid falls into that same discussion. He may be great.
Does Giannis fall into that same discussion because his first MVP was in 2018?
So Giannis we've had more Giannis discussions than I care to have, but the difference with Giannis is that the current stat of basketball, the current status of our collector, our hobby, is not the way it was in Giannis's first couple of years. So I'm talking about
last 4 MVPs.
Right,
Giannis, Jokic. We keep claiming the big man's dead. The big man is more alive than ever. He just looks different than in your childhood.
In the current card environment, the 2018 to 2022 environment, Giannis has not appreciated based on those MVPs.
That's
and those
he ran up so
championships.
much from 2013 to 2019.
And Embiid hasn't, and Jokic hasn't, and none of those
bought
guys
an island on the
correct
back of Giannis Treasures cards.
So you're helping make my point. That's why people, when they're on the Sixers, are trying to buy Tyrese Maxey. Because they're trying to buy Giannis in year 2, year 3, year 4, not in year 8.
Hey, all you guys listening out there, the positivity headphones, buy whoever you effing want. But I'm going to clip this back, and I'm going to be like, I told you guys, this is a Sixers team to watch out for.
I'll say this.
Buy Harden? You want to buy Maxey? Buy Doc Rivers cards.
But what's Maxey stuff? Look what they're doing in the last quarter. It's like this. Because people are on the Sixers, just like, and no one's going to say you're ridiculous about this. But
so
when given
I like card ladder to track sales,
yep.
I don't love card ladder indexes. In my humble opinion, they're in their infancy because they've only been collecting data for a certain amount of time, and with more data, it gets better. The indices are not the greatest depiction of what I think the average market can do. I think maybe the higher end market, sure. Maxey over the last 3 months is 3%.
Yeah, so not down 40%. But I think I've seen a lot of Maxey prices. I've seen a lot of cards like starting to pop up.
Wouldn't you want to be on someone who's down 40-50% with the potential of an MVP?
I would, but that's not the way people do it. People
what
see
are you talking about?
People see Embiid and they say he's done. I'm not on him. He is not hobby salvageable. And we've had this conversation quite a few times. There's a very big difference between basketball, real life, basketball fantasy, and basketball cards. There's a big difference between baseball fantasy, baseball cards, football, the same deal, right?
I don't know baseball. I don't know football, but I'll stick with
basketball. Yeah.
I'll stick with my
bread and butter. And if you were starting a team, you'd want to be on the Sixers this year, and you want to be on Embiid to win the MVP, and all of that would be right. But whether or not that translates to
you're saying that
price increase.
If we go to February and the Sixers are 7 games ahead in first, and Embiid's averaging 35, 12, and 3, his cards aren't up?
No, they are up. 35 is humongous.
Do you know how
but
much he averaged last year?
Yeah, like 29.
30.4.
Okay, 30.4.
People don't realize
there's a huge difference between 30.4 and 35. When was the last time someone averaged 35 in the NBA?
Jordan. Oh, well, Kobe.
Yeah,
Kobe averaged 35.
Kobe, Jordan. You're in a different sphere.
Not in the NBA. In the NBA, it's you get this amount of possessions per game, right? Yeah. Now there's more possessions than back then. You get this amount of possessions. From 30 to 35 is 2 shots. It's literally 2 shots. That means 4 more shots a game for a big man.
That's a huge difference.
Not. And this is the thing. This is what I really liked about it. Harden restructured his deal, and in my opinion, what he realized and what the team realized is he's not the 2 or 3 anymore. He's a dish guy. He's going to be the second or third option, but this is going to be Embiid scoring, everybody else defending. Embiid's going to think about who they brought in: Trez, Grit, PJ Tucker. They played with Harden. So now, why did they do those moves? Because they are like, we need to feed the beast. This is his prime.
Dude, if you are right and he scores 35 a game, yeah, clip the hell out of this because his cards are going to – because 35 is a different stratosphere. I know what you're saying to get there is not that big of a deal. It's only a couple more shots. I would make the counter argument that bringing in Trez is because teams want to have playoff success and teams want to keep him healthy. And ultimately, they're going to spell him, which means he's going to play a little less so he doesn't get hurt and that he's fresh and healthy for the playoff run, which would actually cut his points down.
If he goes 28 minutes a game, he'll probably only score 30 points a game. I agree. If they're blowing teams out and he's not playing. But the points per game matters only as like a context. It's how dominant you are relative to the rest of the market and what your expectations are. He's not even the favorite for MVP. Luka is.
Wow. And that should tell you everything you need to know.
Yeah, because I believe in Vegas lines so much, Cage.
It's not about the Vegas lines. That is people. So you are very smart, and I'm not going to take any basketball acumen or knowledge away from you, right? But what you see there is people want to invest in what they want to invest in, and there are many more people out there who want to see Luka succeed than Embiid succeed. Because I'm telling you,
30% over 1 year.
I'm surprised he's not down more. With how much he's run. But. Listen, people are putting their money in this offseason. They're not putting it in Embiid. They're putting it in Evan Mobley. They're putting it in Jalen Green. They're putting it in Scotty Barnes. They're putting it in all these guys. Just like most people this year were not putting their money into quarterbacks who may succeed, who have been in the league for 4 or 5 or 6 years, because it's just not that's not the current state of hobby investment. I love your talk. I love your points. And if I were a GM right now and I was starting an expansion team, and you told me I could take anyone in the league right now to start my team around, I would take Embiid based on what you're telling me. I would never argue with it. I think he's going to have a great year. I think he's going to be healthy. I saw a lot out of him last year. I talked about Embiid last year probably more than anybody because I was more impressed that he was doing it with all this shit going on around him, with all the Harden nonsense and the Simmons nonsense and all that stuff. He was still basically playing MVP basketball. But even doing that, I never heard anybody say to me, give me an Embiid. Just like I hardly hear people ask for Jokic. Now, I always get DMs when I say this. There's like 3 people in the country who are like diehard Joker fans. Okay, I love you guys. You can send me DMs. Joker's cards, he won 2 straight MVPs. Nobody cares. Embiid, I think he's going to be great. I think he's going to be fantastic. But unless he does something like your 35, something that is a boom, Aaron Judge's 60 home runs, something that's like, woo, there's not going to be any type of real impact on his cards per se. Now, 1 seed, heading into the playoffs, MVP, all that stuff, and they start making a playoff push. Sure, I wish I was holding some Embiid stuff. Sure.
Mazel tov. We are at 19:09. You have literally a minute and a half before my cutoff point. After 22 minutes, we do not do content anymore.
That's it. What do we do? We just stop. 22 minutes is our cutoff.
22.
You give us 22 minutes, we'll give you the world.
That's it.
That's it. I owe somebody, WABC, I owe somebody some money for stealing their slogan there. You give it was something like 660 or I don't know what the hell. I heard that when
was
I was
that
10 wins. That's what it was. I think 10 I think it was. It
was
an AM rating.
Minutes and we'll give you the world.
That's a 22 minutes slogan. We'll give you the world, right? It's one of those kind of things, right? So speaking of the world, I mean, listen, I love some of your posts recently. I love some of your stuff about like, are we focusing on the right news? I mean, sports there's some crazy stuff out there. I got to tell you, from Favre to the Celtics to all that stuff. And I mean, we could touch on any of them if you want, or we could touch
I
nothing.
just wanted to figure out how remix has worked on Instagram.
Your thing was funny. Your remix stuff is funny because then you're like, all right, I tried this, and now I'm just going to put the camera on my face. I'm sitting down in a chair, and I'm going to tell you, I tried to figure it out, guys, but let me finish my point.
They're so fast. It's like, dude, I didn't know how little you could do in a minute. Back in the old days, a minute felt a lot longer.
Well, I'll tell you is this, fun critique, because we're in the week where people are critiquing us. Just because it's on a remix doesn't mean you have to be a Peter Pointer. Guys, what I'm going to tell you is with the pointy finger. I was like, take that finger, stick it up your nose. It's a lot of pointing. And then when you just did the regular thing, you were just kind of like, all right, it's me, it's Andrew, I'm talking. But when you have like the shit behind you and you try, it's like, why is he pointing so much?
What do I do with my hands?
Yeah, just sit on them. Yeah, man, it was really funny. Oh, man, I mean, I got to tell you, a moment of clarity, honesty, you name it, for our guys, right? Because if nothing else, we try to come on here and just give the God's honest. I gave some thought yesterday to selling everything. Not going to hear that from many people.
That's it every Thursday, right?
No, I haven't had that thought in a very long time.
Yes. Since Steve Aoki bought NFTs, you have not had that thought. I would agree.
No, I mean, I'm listen, this is, I want people out there who have the same kind of thought to hear from us that it's not the worst thing in the world, and it's reasonable, it's rational. But I didn't sell everything. Instead, what I did was I said I'm gonna look at my collection, and what I find is that over the last couple of years, as the going was good, the going was sideways, the going was crazy, I kind of branched out into a lot of different random things. I've got some UFC Strike digital UFC cards from their Top Shot. Yeah, I got a Champions moment. I'm in their Champions Club. I'm supposed to be getting like UFC pass for free or something. I got some NFL all day.
One of our Luca Nation guys tipped me off. I lost like $2K on it. I bought Adesanya and McGregor. Good job.
You bought the thing? Okay. So anyway, I have some of that. I have some football. I have Panini Digital, and I have my cards in my PWCC vault, and I have cards at home, and so instead of getting the whole I gotta sell it all, right? What I said was, all right, what's behind this? What would Andrew say to me? He would say, well, what's winning? Let's find a win. And I'll say, Andrew, what the hell's winning? It's like, I want to see you win. All right, so let me channel my inner Andrew, and I'm going to find out what's a win here. And what is behind the thought process? Why do you want to liquidate right now? And I would say to myself, all right, maybe because I don't have as much liquid cash. A lot of stuff's going down. I've spent a lot of money on cards this year. I bought some LeBrons. I bought some Peyton Mannings. I bought some Tim Duncans. I made a lot of the stuff pretty public. And I've spent a lot more this year than I've sold. And maybe, mentally I'm saying, well, I need to get some cash going. That way, if other deals are here, or I have cash, and I usually have more liquid cash. Okay, so Andrew's follow-up question. So do you really have to sell everything in order to, make yourself feel better? No, I don't. Thank you, Andrew, for asking. What I can do here is I can find some of those fringe items and sell those and build up some cash, build up a liquid position on things that I purchased over the last couple of years that I don't even know what the hell I have. Mosaic Panini Digital. Hell, I have an NFL all day Carson Wentz thing that's like $85. I don't need that. There you go, $85 right back to me. And
which, by the way, is a good lesson. Real quick,
yeah.
I used to, when I first got into the hobby and I was in that stage, I would sell my best assets. And
that makes it quicker.
It makes it quicker, correct?
Makes
and
it
you
quicker.
know what you're getting versus the other way, like Carson Wentz, $85 here, $3 here, $8 here.
So that's what I did. I spent a few hours. I went on Discord last night and posted some messages in some groups saying, hey, I have these for sale. If anybody wants them, send me a message, or before it goes up on the marketplace, or and so the PayPal numbers grow, and the amount of money coming in grows, and all of a sudden I feel like, all right, well, I still have every major piece in my collection, and my liquidity position is a little bit better than it was. Now, not everybody can do this. I understand. Not everybody's just buying random shit like I have for the last 3 years. But every once in a while, it's cool. It's sort of like, a little spring cleaning in the fall, right? Anyway, I just figured I'd share that with folks because it's reasonable, but you don't always have to, be 0 to 60. It's there's gears in between, redlining it and stop.
For sure.
I have a hard time finding those sometimes. My brain is either all or nothing.
Why I think PWCC has done so well is if you actually really think about what's going on is they're giving out 0% 1.5 week loans.
Because you don't have to pay right away.
That's a big deal. And when it's very important to have cash, right? Even in inflationary times, think about the best investors. I sent Cage something the other day. I was like, look how millionaires think and look how billionaires think. Millionaires think you need to have no cash because it's losing money. But billionaires, like Warren Buffett, are sitting on a lot of cash. So because though, in theory, you hear media say your money is losing money, you just need that one huge deal. And you need to be ready for that huge deal. And if you don't have cash, that deal is going to go to someone else.
That's right.
So liquidity, having cash on hand is.
And what's funny is, it wasn't like, I need $10,000 because I need to buy this other card. Like there wasn't anything I was chasing. Right. And sometimes you do it that way. And I think if you wait for that, you wind up liquidating probably better stuff than you'd want to liquidate. I think really this was like, a position where I see the market turning. I don't have, the cash that I'd like to have on hand for that deal that I think is going to come up, whether it's on PWCC or wherever it is. And if that deal comes up and I don't have the money, I'm going to wind up having to quickly sell assets that I don't really want to sell. Whereas I could do it on my own time, ahead of time, and sell a little here, a little there, and come up with that money. Right?
Chess, not checkers. That's another episode of Luca Nation. We love you.
So thank you all for listening to another episode of Lucas, Tigers, and Bronzo Mai. I wanted to tell you about a new service that we have starting as of today, and I'm really, really excited to bring it to you guys. So as a part of our partnership with SGC, we got 50 free submissions every single month, and many of you have taken advantage of that. And it's amazing that we could have the opportunity to 650 episodes, 675 episodes in, to go ahead and give back to our community. As people were sending those cards in, they asked, can we send 5, 10, 20 more cards to you guys? We'll pay for it, but we wanted them graded with SGC. You guys know SGC is turning cards around in 13 to 14 business days, have incredible customer service, and their secondary market values are going up day after day after day. And that's exciting for the hobby and exciting for the grading landscape. So we didn't want to just rush into it. We wanted to do it right. And what we did was I relocated here to Boca Raton, Florida. I opened up a P.O. box maybe 5 minutes away from SGC, and I will be hand delivering and hand picking up the cards. So you don't have to worry about anyone else touching your cards. It will be me, and I will update you every step of the way. So here's how it's going to work. I'm going to personally pick up the cards from a P.O. box, prep them, new card saver, new penny sleeve, and deliver them to SGC every single Tuesday. Why Tuesday? Well, it lets the stragglers over the weekend come back through on Monday and gives me a day to prep, and it basically gives SGC the entire week to work on grading those cards. Once your cards pop, only then at the end of the process will you be paying for the service. It's $25 per card, simple as that, and the turnaround times have never been faster. We're hearing right now 13, 14, less than 20 business days. So there it is. 9170 Glades Road, number 135 is the P.O. Box in Boca Raton, Florida, 33434. 9170 Glades Road, number 135, Boca Raton, Florida, 33434. Of course, you could shoot me an email or shoot me a text anytime, and I'm always available. Many of you already have my email. It's iamandrewgoldberg@gmail.com. or my cell phone number, 215-519-9154. Reach out with any questions. I could walk you through the process. I've hopped on the call with quite a few of you, and I'm happy to do that. Love you, Luca Nation.